Today is September the 7th, 2024. My name is Charles Suter. Today I'm presenting part 2 of my series, Overcoming Addiction, with a focus on discussing why you're addicted. My main message, and probably the answer to that question here, is you are addicted because you can't handle the fear and discomfort of withdrawal. Most people know what to do about their unhealthy habits and addictions, but they fail to change due to the chemical dependency that the addiction has over them. The prime reason people don't attempt to escape from their addiction is the fear they can't handle the withdrawal symptoms. Too many people, it would be easier to pass a camel through the eye of a needle than to suffer the pangs of withdrawal. To withdraw from a chemical dependency is just too overwhelming a thought for most people, and most addicts fear they couldn't handle it, and the fear of failure threatens their self-concept and self-esteem. So they choose to accept their addiction to avoid the ego-shattering confrontation they fear they will lose. Rather than try and fail, they accept the long-term consequences of their addiction as their fate, and cease to think about the harmful effects of their addiction, and they settle for becoming a functional addict. The situation becomes one of helplessness and hopelessness. They put their mind on autopilot and choose to ignore the peril of their vices in order to keep their identity whole and avoid any potential psychological trauma or breakdown. So here's the key question. Are you willing to settle for just staying as a functional addict? Now, this presentation is going to explain how to overcome the fear of failure, the notion that you can't fight a chemical dependency because your willpower isn't sufficiently strong to overcome the pain and discomfort of withdrawal. It's true. To succeed and overcome your addiction, you must at some point pass through the uncomfortable withdrawal phase. But it is considerably easy to overcome an addiction by passing through the withdrawal phase only once, and once you're ready. If you are mentally, physically, and spiritually ready to do so, it will be so much easier. To succeed, you must prepare and train your willpower, resolve, confidence, and tolerance to endure the temporary discomfort of withdrawal. Once you reach a conviction, yes, I can do it, you'll be ready to do what you must to escape the tyranny of your addiction and become free of a life-crippling addiction for the rest of your life. A victory over your addiction will surely improve your self-concept and self-esteem, knowing that you succeeded, whereas other people like yourself are still trapped in the sinkhole of their own addiction. You become free at last, free from the bondage of a crippling addiction. Now, let's review this. You are hooked and addicted and haven't changed because you're chemically and biologically dependent on a harmful habit, fearful that stopping will cause severe chemical withdrawals, imagining the challenge and pain of withdrawal to be overwhelming, certain you can't handle the prolonged pain and discomfort of withdrawal, and unwilling to take the risk, only to be humiliated if you tried and had to quit because you failed. Now, another reason you're hooked and addicted and haven't changed is because you're deluding yourself with your rational reasoning. Some of the dominant rationalizations are these. 1. Your habits providing you with pleasures you just can't do without. 2. Your habit is now part of your identity and comfort zone, so why change? And 3. You have passively accepted your fate and allowed yourself to be content living with the problem. And the third reason you're hooked and addicted and haven't changed is because you're weak in willpower, self-concept, self-esteem. So why risk failure and embarrassment? Proposition 2. Here's what I'm offering you. With the right process, you can overcome your addiction by mentally building strong emotionally driven reasons for quitting. Physically, preparing your physical readiness to handle the withdrawal symptoms. Spiritually, drawing upon the strength of a higher power to act despite your fears. So my final message is, with the right process, you can overcome your addiction and change. Now, these presentations will introduce a process for overcoming an addiction by helping you build a belief in success. Fill any confident gaps in your belief that you can't succeed, and overcome your fear of pain and discomfort as you pass through the withdrawal process. I'm going to present an integrated process that builds your mental, physical, and spiritual readiness to handle the withdrawal process from your addiction before you begin. Once you get to the other side of your addiction, the physical urges will be over and much easier to handle with a mental and spiritual maintenance of your abstinence. So, overcoming an addiction, especially one that's been in use in your life for many years, will be difficult, but not impossible. The self-help process for overcoming an addiction consists of 5 major steps. Step 1 is information and the logical reasons to change. Step 2 is developing a sufficiently high motivation to seriously commit to change. Step 3 is developing the belief and confidence that if you make a sincere effort, you will succeed. And step 4 is develop some supportive routines or healthy substitutes to help minimize the pain of withdrawal by keeping your mind off your urges, including an appeal to a higher power for moral support as you begin the withdrawal process. And step 5, finally, the action or the withdrawal phase, wherein after a period of abstinence, the physical urges will continue, but with your much less abated. And the tolerance level will reach a point due to replacement behaviors sufficiently to carry you forward without the chemical dependency. Each of these 5 process steps will be discussed on a separate presentation in the weeks to come. I urge you to listen to all 5 presentations if you're struggling with an addiction that is negatively impacting your life, so you can regain and enjoy your long-term health in the years to come. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive, to be happier, healthier, and live longer.